Hello, North Oaks family. We wanted to provide to you an update of what we as a church are doing in response to the coronavirus. Right now, we are canceling all events other than our Sunday morning worship service through April 6th. No events other than Sunday morning worship will be ongoing. If you have any other underlying health issues or exhibiting symptoms of colds or anything sick at all, we urge you and recommend that you stay at home and do not come to Sunday worship. We wanted to explain to you why we're doing what we're doing and what this is going to look like. So why change? Why change our practices? We're doing this because of our love for our neighbors. Love is driving our change here. We want to ensure that we're caring for our neighbors both inside and outside our church well. We who are healthy want to ensure that we're caring out of love for those who are weak physically. We want to protect our neighbors. We are also changing our behavior now before things get terribly bad in preparation for trouble down the road. We want to make sure that our behaviors, our patterns, the way that we conduct ourselves now reflects our priorities of love for neighbor. Now, to be clear, preparing for trouble is not the same thing as worrying about trouble. We as Christians believe firmly that Jesus will never leave us nor forsake us. And we believe that He will keep us in His love, that nothing can separate us from the love of God in Christ. And we believe, as the Apostle John puts it, that love drives out fear. This is what God told Joshua: do not be dismayed, the Lord our God is with us wherever we go. So as Christians, we are not responding to this situation out of fear or worry, but with wisdom, driven and formed by love. So that being the case, why are we still gathering for worship on Sunday mornings? Well, first off, we want to listen to our government's wisdom about the size of gatherings and the spread of disease. And right now, our government is recommending that all non-essential social gatherings be eliminated. And we wanted to respect that. However, once all possible precautions have been taken, we believe that we ought not to cancel our worship out of fear. So to be clear, that's not the same as canceling our worship out of risk or immediate danger. We are not facing that right now, and we are listening to the recommendations of our government for that time. As Christians, we do not fear death in and of itself. Gathering and worshiping God is the purpose for the people of God. We firmly believe that Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again, and those beliefs inform how we practice our faith. Our precautions about eliminating all other activities and our continual gathering for worship, while as long as it is wise, serve as witnesses to the world about our priorities: love for our neighbors and love for our God. Now, I want to repeat something here. If you have weak health or are exhibiting symptoms of any sickness, we urge you to stay home. If you are staying home to protect your family from the spread of disease or out of caution, we want to make sure that you don't feel any shame in doing that. Jesus says that the Sabbath is created for man and not the other way around. What he means by that is the worship of God is not to be a vehicle for evil or destruction. And if you are protecting your family or your own health or the health of others by remaining home, we think that is entirely appropriate. So I want to get into some details about what actually is canceled. So all activities other than Sunday morning worship through April 6th are eliminated. That includes youth group, adult and youth Sunday school, digging deeper discipleship, the men's dinner, prayer for prodigals, Oakleaf Cafe will be closed, and Crosstown will be closed. So that means all childcare on Sunday mornings, nursery through 5th grade, has been canceled at least through April 6th. While the government believes it is safe for children to continue to congregate, we don't believe that we have the resources to continually maintain proper hygiene for the children, and we are worried about our ability to have the volunteers necessary to run this. So for the time being, Crosstown is canceled, but our children are welcome with us in the worship service. We want the little children to come. So what are we changing as part of our precautions at North Oaks? First, there will only be one unlocked entrance to the church, the main doors up top. If you are in a wheelchair and need something ramp accessible, there are ramps there for you to enter the church that way. At the door, there will be hand sanitizer, which we will be requiring people to use once they enter the church. We will also no longer be passing the offering plate. We will have at the back of the sanctuary a box where you can either leave your gifts and offerings there, or you're free to give on realm. We will continue to celebrate the Lord's Supper. We will continue to also modify some of our practices with that. As we started last week, all the people administering the Lord's Supper will be wearing gloves. When you come up to take the Lord's Supper, they will not place it into your hand, but will drop the bread into your hand so that there is no contact there. The ushers will also ensure that people are released in a slower flow so that there's not gatherings of people in the aisles. We will be recording our entire liturgy this upcoming Sunday, and as long as our other events are canceled. This liturgy will be posted, songs, sermons, Lord's Supper, onto Realm. Over the coming weeks, the staff will be working on home and family worship guides so that if you are quarantined at home, either by yourself or with your spouse or your family, you will have the ability to continue to worship, and even though you're isolated, do so in a way that's still in continuity with your church family. Steve and I will also be available for pastoral visits for those of you who are unable to come to church. We're both available for phone call as well. While Steve is out of town at the moment, once he returns, he will be available for visits. We will continue to keep the church updated about any changes to our practices. If more events are to be canceled or we're to modify our Sunday morning approach, we will let you know. And remember, we are doing this out of love, not out of fear, and we're doing it out of conviction that Christ is our King.